He is Ed Nehrig. The Indiana County Fair goes on. We're right in the middle of it, as a matter of fact, the 156th version of the Indiana County Fair. And Ed, good morning to you. It's been a busy week already, hasn't it?
Good morning, Todd. Yes, it sure has. We've got 3 days in now, and we've had excellent turnout and just a lot of activity going on over at the fair.
I've had some great weather, and that usually means you get some big crowds. Folks love going to the fair.
That's right. We've had excellent crowds every day so far, and we're just looking forward to tonight's crowd. At the present time, they are putting lights and sound on the stage. When I left the fairgrounds a few minutes ago, they were setting up for tonight's show.
Yeah. Well, last night, band night.
That's correct. And we didn't have rain.
Yeah, no rain. No rain, but a whole lot of people. People love band night.
That's correct. We always get a good crowd on band night, and I understand you did a survey here, and band night was the number one reason for coming to the fair, which is great.
Yeah, that was the big attraction. Well, tonight is certainly a big attraction as well. The group is called High Valley. Chuck, very familiar with them. He was talking with us about them a couple of moments ago out of Manitoba. Canada, and right here in Indiana. They've got a really big hit song right now.
That's correct. As I understand it, I don't know the country music very well, but I understand they're right there on the charts.
Yeah, their song "She's With Me" is climbing the charts right now. And for folks who don't know, if they're going to the concert tonight, track is open. You want to go and stand on the track, you can, but don't bring a chair, right?
That's correct. Track is standing room only, and it is the same price as admission. I get there for admission to the fairgrounds, actually, $8.
One of the great things about the fair and the concert is that it doesn't matter where you are, even on the fairgrounds, but certainly on the grandstand. You're right on top of the action there. You're seeing everything, and the music is right there for you.
Right, that's correct. Everything's available at the one admission price.
Yeah. All right. So for the concert tonight, can people just arrive and walk on to the grandstand, or are the grandstands closed off for a certain time and then the gates will open up?
The grandstand will be closed off. Anybody with a paid admission will be allowed to enter. During the contract calls for a certain time that the gates can be open, and I'm not quite aware of that. It's probably about an hour before showtime.
Okay. All right. So folks can then get on. And that means that the line will be forming and snaking its way all through. I would imagine all those folks at the food trucks and those vendors there, they don't mind if people have to stand around outside their place and smell the food, huh?
No, that's correct. And they can stand there and eat food or drink their lemonade, whatever they want to do while they're waiting, and that keeps the vendors happy.
Yeah, absolutely it does. All right, so we talked on Friday about the shows at the Indiana County Fair. And so now you've had a chance maybe to see the Pork Chop Review. What's it like?
The Pork Chop Review is a lot of fun, and the attendance has been great. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 sets of bleachers set up in front of them, and they just put on a great show. The pigs entertain them, and they are well-trained, and actually, it's more than pigs a little bit. There's a couple goats that perform in the show, so they've added that to the show.
Terrific. And, of course, there's the other show, the magic show?
Farmer Ed, yeah. Ed? It's a combination of magic and information, educational for the kids about agriculture. And Farmer Ed puts on a tremendous show down there, too, just in front of the kiddie farm.
Yeah, so you've got the food, you've got all the shows. We haven't talked about the rides. The rides are open all the time now. The
rides are open. They open at 3 every day, and they run till closing. And they're just a lot of activity over in that area too.
And there's one other aspect of the fair that I want to touch on that people going for the shows and they might not be aware of or might not ever have experienced, and they really should. Is the 4-H barns, the animal barns, where they get to go in, see the kids with their animals. It's just amazing to watch the amount of dedication these children have to these animals.
That's correct, and I urge everyone to go into that area and even to visit with the kids. The kids are usually hanging around their animals or hanging around the barn there, and they will talk with them and tell them about their animals. Today we're showing sheep and goats at the fair. Yesterday it was dairy cattle and hogs. So we're well into our showing of our animals and the animal livestock end of the fair.
Yeah, that's start at 9 o'clock? Is that usually when it starts?
Usually, most of them are 9 o'clock. There's a couple of them that start late, but most of the livestock shows start at 9 o'clock. That's correct.
There you go. So you can get over there this morning, actually, and watch all of that taking place. The sheep show actually began at 8, I think.
That's correct.
Because there's so many of them.
Yeah, that's correct. And then the goat show will be this afternoon at 1 o'clock, I believe it starts.
Yeah. So all of that is happening at the Indiana County Fair. We haven't talked about the train show. You've got the antique display. The entertainment on the community stage is always special, too, because that's our folks.
That's correct. That's local folks that are doing their gigs on our little community stage, which is just off Carter Avenue up by the Brush Valley Chicken Tent. And I haven't had the opportunity to sit there and watch the show yet, but I did hear it the other evening, and it sounded great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so High Valley tonight, and then what's in front of the grandstand for the next couple of nights? We've got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday shows, I'm
That's
sure.
correct. Thursday night is our cheerleader night. That's a big night also at the fair. When the cheerleaders come in, we'll probably have around 1,000. That's normally what we have. And on Friday night, we have the big rig and smokers, the truck and tractor pulls that make the noise and the smoke. Then Saturday at noon, we have the demo derby, which is always a popular event. And in the evening, we have the 4x4 open class truck pull and the tri-axle truck pull.
Yeah, boy, demolition derby on Saturday pulls in the crowd, doesn't it?
That sure does. It sure does.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun at the Indiana County Fair. And of course, for folks who aren't aware, your admission price to the fair basically gets you everything that you need.
That's correct. It gets you all the shows, gets you the rides, and anything you want to see on the fairground except your food.
Mm-hmm. There you go. $8 admission, and that's a bargain by any measure that you could have.
It sure is in today's world.
Yeah, absolutely. So High Valley tonight, of course, the fair will go on, and all of the animals, all of the different shows, and just the chance. And you've been going to the fair for how many years, Ed?
I've been there probably longer than I want to think. Probably 50 years if you go back to include when I started showing animals.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so, probably more than
50 years. Yeah.
I'm just looking at you, Ed.
Time flies.
You were not showing animals at the age of 8 and showing up here today, and it's only been 50 years. You've been going there a long time, and it really is a special time of the year.
It is a special time of the year, and we have so many volunteers that have come up through the system like I did, and they continue to provide help to put on the fair. It's just tremendous. I can't say enough about the volunteers that help us out there at the fair.
You know, that's a really good point, because it takes so many people to get the fair, and it's not just this week. This week is the culmination of this year's preparations, but it's almost like, all right, next week you start working again on next year.
That's right. We have board meeting next week, and we'll start talking about next year's fair.
How about that? Also, a big nod to all of the folks who helped to make it by sponsoring each day, make it such a special thing. Today is, I believe, S&T Bank Day, is it?
That's correct. Today is S&T Bank Day. They help us put on the show tonight, and I can't say enough about our sponsors either. Without them, we just wouldn't be the fair we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's salute S&T Bank Day today. Tomorrow's Senator Don White Day.
And the CEO Day, there's a combination tomorrow to the Senator Don White and CEO group are on tomorrow.
Center for Economic Opportunity. TriStar Motors Day on Friday. A big salute to TriStar Motors today.
That's correct. On Friday is TriStar Motors Day.
And for those days that have already passed, IRMC Day was yesterday, thanks to the Indiana Regional Medical Center. And they also are the first aid supplier for the fair as well.
That's correct. They have they bring their bus down, and they have the first aid station on the fairgrounds and help us tremendously in that area.
Yeah, the Indiana County Commissioners, they sponsored Monday, even going back to Saturday with Manor Motors Day. That was always special. That was special of them to do that. And Indiana County Fair Day itself is coming up on Saturday, and that's a very special final day of the fair this year. Ed, it sounds like you're having fun this week. It's kind of a energy sapping there, isn't it? It takes you a while to recover from something like that.
That's correct. You're pretty well drained by the end of the week, but it's worth it.
It's absolutely worth it. Well, we appreciate your coming in and taking some time out. we're sort of counting this as if we're giving you a big break from the fair by asking you to come over and visit with us a little bit. So take your time going back.
I will do that. I have to pick up some supplies on the way back, and I turned my phone off to come in here.
Attaboy. That's the way to go about it. Ed Nehrig, thanks so much. You're always so good to us to come in and visit with us to talk about something that I know is near and dear to your heart, the 156th Indiana County Fair.
Thank you, Todd. I just appreciate all the support that Renda gives to us.
All righty. Have a great day today and the rest of the fair, and go enjoy that High Valley Act tonight. It's the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM.